fellow adventurers. Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn with Zalcan. In our last episode, we managed to track down the Ul'dah and attempted to set a trap for them, failed miserably, and ended up having to fight their primal, basically their god, and we defeated him. Word of our defeat spread throughout the land, and now the three grand companies of Eorzea are asking for us to join their little teams. So we have the representatives here from Gridania, Ul'dah, and Limsa Lominsa. So what's been decided is I'm going to travel around to the three different cities, listen to their leaders give speeches, and decide which one I want to join. Fair warning, get your drinks and your snacks and comfy chair and strap in, because for as much as people talk about Final Fantasy having lots of cutscenes, we're going to have a lot of cutscenes today. All right. So let's see. First step, I need to go speak to Tataru. Tataru. Tataru? You know I can't say names correctly. I believe it is Tataru. Alright. That's what happens when you attempt to record before fully having your coffee in the morning. I'm sorry about all the attention you're getting, Zalcan. I might have sung your praises a little too loudly and often to a few too many people. Next time, I'll be sure to hold my tongue, literally if necessary. Anyway, I expect you want to know where and when the Remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Gridania's Grand Company, the Order of the Twin Adder, will hold the first of three services. An elder Seed Seer Khan E. Senna will deliver her address at Miketo's amphitheater. I should probably mention at this point that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all of the involved parties, it is possible that the order of services might change. Still, there's not much we can do about that, so make Gridania your first port of call. Next, you'll need to go to Ul'dah, where Flame General Rabban Aldin, well, I didn't know that was his last name, I just always knew him as Rabban, will be addressing the masses at the Royal Promenade. I wonder if they ever say that again. I have never seen the Aldin part of his name. Anyway. Oh, and it's rumored there to be a special guest. Special guest? How exciting. Last but not least, you must make your way to the stateroom in Limsa Lominsa, where Maelstrom Chief Admiral Merle Webb Blow Hiswin Blof Hiswin Merle Webb will be giving her address. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the sentry Xanthial, and he will admit you. Got all that? Well, off you go, then. I hope you find the Remembered services suitably educational. I suggest visiting the city-states in my prescribed order, though with your record of impeccable timing and luck, this schedule may well change in favor of your preferred travels. Farewell. So I guess it basically means I can go wherever I want, whenever I want, but we'll go to Gridania first. All right.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seed Seer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk the high roads without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you, join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder's standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity, we must think of the children.
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
All
forest.
the elementals!
Alrighty then.
If you'll permit me, Alfino,
Well, hello, Alfino.
and my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
So you're a snob, in other words. Okay. The Gridanians are unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition and want to summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians, until recently at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Ramu. The Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. The Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and therefore the power of the elementals, put an end to their woes. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to all-out war, and when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them then? Well, perhaps we'll find out if the Elder Seed Seer's words fell on fertile ground. All right. See, of course, you know, the one other thing here that Alfino failed to mention is you have to look at, the coats that they're wearing and decide what color you want. Because that's just as important. Alright. Let's head to... Oh no, it's next is Ul'dah, isn't it? Yeah, let's go to Ul'dah. Okay, and I'm guessing, yeah, it's up in the Royal Promenade area.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well.
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Hurrah! Roban! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul'dah dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold, where by the grace and glory of Ul'dah have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Ul'dah wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you, line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people!
Ja, for Ul'dah!
Together we are one.
Your grace.
Raoban? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the Inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth!
The time is now!
I fancy meeting you again.
The Ul'dahs have a long history of conflict with the Ul'dah, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. The Ul'dahs do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So have they dealt with the Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet in these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming that they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Ul'dah are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do, the Ul'dahs send their forces to smite the primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, the Immortal Flames are eager to recruit more members. As such, at desperate hour, an adventurer of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. I don't know, Elfino is starting to sound more and more like he's a recruiter. Alright. That's 2 out of 3. Get comfy, folks. We're in for cutscene number 3. Here to attend the remembrance service. Be quick. The Admiral is due to give her address at any moment.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. 700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The Crimson Field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the Black Longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom Standard, and our Grand Company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners. And together, we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage. Yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The
bastards!
Sahagin have risen?
While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying Crimson Standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the Navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all!
Long live the Admiral! Admiral Melvin!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the 7 hells, Admiral!
Fancy meeting you again.
As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsa Lominsa is plagued by two beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sahagan, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in Lominsa's backyard. And that is to say not of the internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions, and while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. If the Lominsas are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom Standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. Zalcan, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service is now concluded? A moment ago, you say. What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies? Well, delighted though we are to have them here. Delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. We're getting tired of feeding them tea and crumpets. Alright. I guess we'll go head back to the Waking Sands. Welcome back, Zalcan. Were the Grand Company's leader's words as illuminating as you had hoped? Aye. Each nation is beset with problems. I trust you now see why your services are in such demand. Would that there were more of you, Zalcan. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer.
The gods only know what grand company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral Era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alize, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
Okay. Well, not that those two are necessarily been all that helpful at this point. So, which one to choose? Do I want a yellow jacket, a gray jacket, or a red jacket? I want a red jacket. So we're going to go with Limsa. How was the Admiral's speech? But you need not explain. That you stand before me now is answer enough. You have resolved to join the Maelstrom, have you not? Yes, I have. That's the spirit, lad. With allies like you, how much stronger is our crew? Let us brave the seas together, friend. Now the choice is made, it is time to add your name to our rolls. Make your way to Limsa Lominsa and seek our Grand Company's headquarters. Maelstrom Command is located on the upper decks. I will send word to our personnel officer to expect you. The duties of a Maelstrom soldier can be both arduous and challenging, but I promise you, you will not regret this choice. May your passage be swift and your bearing sure. Alrighty. So back to Limsa. And upstairs. Hail, adventurer. What business have you with Maelstrom Command? My name is Zalcan. I believe you are expecting me. Zalcan, our recruitment office sent word of your coming. It shall be my honor to induct you into the ranks of the Maelstrom. Now, before I can accept your oath, you must be made aware of several... Sir! What is it, private? And this had better be important. Sir, we received a report from a lookout in Lower Lanosia. Sir, Imperial forces have fired upon a Highwind Skyways airship. The vessel is in a bad way, sir, and appears to be banking for an emergency landing in Cedarwood. Cedarwood? Damn it. We have no troops available in that area. Bulk of our infantry is bogged down on the coast, skirmishing with the fishbacks. Kalani, this is highly irregular, but I fear your first duty in service to the Maelstrom must needs be unofficial. If our man in Lower Lanosia is correct, the airship will come down in territory crawling with Imperial scouts. If there are any survivors, we must reach them before the Garleans do. Make haste to Cedarwood. Locate the airship, and any of its occupants are alive. Make sure they come to no further harm. We'll see about swearing you in upon your return. Alrighty. We already have our first mission. Okay. So I'm unattuned to that. Oh, yeah, there's no other good way to get to this one, is there? All right. Time to get on the road. Okay, I haven't quested over here, so I basically have none of the aetherites. So before we go to the next zone, we're going to stop by and pick up the aetherite in this zone. Skog's Fru. Well, that's the B rank. Once you get to level 50, avoid this. Once you get to level 50, you can do what's called a hunt, which is you go after rare monsters, and they have different ranks of like difficulty. The B ranks, basically, you can solo without a problem. And, you know, they give you a currency as a reward, and of course you can end up, you know, you can buy stuff with the currency. So there's B ranks. A ranks are a little tougher. And there's S ranks, which basically, if you're at that level, you'll need, like, you know, a large group to take down. And then there's double S ranks, which have they usually have, you know, like super rare requirements for them spawning, and, you know, those need, like, you know, large raid groups at the level. Obviously, you know, if you're level 90, you can take down a level 50 S rank. All right, so we got talk to the chocobo person. So we got that. Let's head on to the next. Let's see, we're going there. We should be able to walk through this without aggroing anything. The level difference is high enough. Just out of curiosity, what is that? That's the A rank for this area. Huh, okay. I don't think I've ever seen him before. Not a lot I can do about it at level 28. Okay, so it's over this way. Ah, I see. An airship. All right. And it looks like there's a glowy thing, so that means there's going to be a scenario involved in this. Well, I think that's a good spot for us to stop today. Not a lot of action, but we did get a whole lot of exposition into, what the grand companies are, what the different, city-state nations are like, and, a little bit more on kind of the history of Eorzea and basically what we're doing here as far as, fighting off the primals, fighting off the Garleans, trying to repair this world that was torn apart with a calamity. So, hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please do all of the things. Leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments section. I will answer them as soon as I can. And otherwise, I hope everybody has a great day.